Whipping winds fueling this massive fire, sending flames and thick smoke into the air. Firefighters trying to get it under control for hours.
I heard the sirens going. They had firefighters on top trying to break through the roof. It took off faster than they could keep up with it.
The famous Dunes Boardwalk Cafe engulfed around 11:30 this morning as people watched in shock.
We've been coming here for 30 years. It's tragic. It's just awful.
Officials say crews from all over the county battled dangerous conditions right on the ocean front. Just when things seemed to be letting up, stubborn hotspots continued popping up all over the building, even spreading to the boardwalk and neighboring businesses.
The fire posed a challenge underneath the boardwalk. It has multiple voids with sand dunes. It was hard to gain access initially for the fire department.
I was forced to pull all our crews out of the building a couple times because of unsafe conditions.
Ocean Grove residents are unfortunately no strangers to tragedy. In 2012, Superstorm Sandy badly damaged the boardwalk and the shops here.
To have everything restored and to see this kind of fire after they rebuilt the Dunes Cafe, it just surreal for something like this to happen after Sandy.
This building really took a hard hit during Sandy, and it had just finally gotten back up and going the last couple of years. So it's a shame.
And 2 firefighters were taken to the hospital for minor smoke inhalation, but nobody, thankfully, was seriously hurt. We are told that crews will have to take down this building in order to investigate what exactly caused this, and also for safety reasons, because as you can see, the structure is, of course, completely destroyed. The food court here was set to open for the season officially in May, but that, of course, will not be happening. We're live in Ocean Grove, New Jersey tonight. Rena Roy, TV 1055.
What do you do in case of a kitchen fire? Rule number 1 in case of a kitchen fire is don't panic. The most important thing you can do is leave it on the stove. Do not remove it from the stove because the hood vent is doing what it's supposed to do, drawing the smoke out of the room, drawing the heat out of the room, and also keeping it underneath that fire suppression. If you remove it from the hood vent area, you're going to get smoke billowing into the main part of the kitchen, which can cause even more damage. After that, some of the best ways to safely put out a grease fire, if you can, try smothering it with a lid or a hotel pan or a sheet pan or something along those lines. If that doesn't work, start with going to baking soda or kosher salt. Oftentimes these alone will smother the fire out effectively. If that doesn't work, your options are a fire extinguisher or your fire suppression system. Always keep in mind, if you can do this safely, that's your best option. If safety is an issue, make sure that you get out of the kitchen. Anyone inside that kitchen is more valuable than the kitchen itself. So make sure you get out of the kitchen, make sure you activate the fire suppression system, and call 911 for additional help.
The Kitchen Night 2 is an appliance-specific fire suppression system designed for restaurant cooking appliances, hoods, and ducts. Each cooking appliance is protected with nozzles, carefully aimed at the optimum point to suppress the fire. In the event of a fire, the Kitchen Night 2 restaurant fire suppression system is actuated either by the manual pull station or the fusible link detection system located in the hood. The fusible links are carefully installed and positioned in each duct area and over each hazard. When the temperature rating of the fusible link is reached, it separates, releasing tension on the wire connected to the mechanical control head, located remotely or on the pressurized agent tank. This action initiates electric power shutdown and the mechanical control head to release tension to a separate wire that triggers the gas valve to shut off. Simultaneously, the system is actuated as a pin punctures the small CO2 cartridge within the mechanical control head. The cartridge pressure opens the agent tank valve, allowing the wet chemical agent to flow freely throughout the piping network. The Pyrochem wet agent is then discharged onto the hazard from nozzles with specific spray patterns for maximum coverage. Once the wet agent is applied, it forms a vapor securing blanket to prevent the possibility of fire reflash. To complement the Kitchen Night 2 restaurant fire suppression system, A PyroChem Kitchen 1 K-Class extinguisher is placed close to the appliances along the path of egress for added safety. This extinguisher contains the same effective PyroChem wet chemical agent as the Kitchen Night 2 restaurant fire suppression system.
In order for a fire to continue, it requires heat, fuel, and oxygen. This is known as the fire triangle. If you remove any one leg of the triangle, the fire will collapse and go out. Different fire extinguishers are designed to attack different legs of the triangle. Class A fire extinguishers are used on fires that involve ordinary combustibles such as wood, paper, cloth, or plastic. Class B fire extinguishers are used on fires that have grease or flammable liquids such as gasoline, paint, or alcohol. Class C fire extinguishers are used on items such as electrical fires and electrical wiring. There is also a Class ABC fire extinguisher, and these are designed to do the job of all three of the previous ones combined. However, in kitchens and restaurants, if you were to use one of these on a grease fire, chances are you would not have the desired result you were hoping for. In fact, you could potentially make the fire worse. Because of that, the Class K is for fires involving cooking oils or fats, and fats in commercial cooking equipment.
How to use a fire extinguisher. In this short video, we'll cover how to properly use a fire extinguisher using the PASS method. Now, it's important to note that if a fire does occur in your workplace, that you follow these 3 important steps. Step 1. Once you've seen the fire, first grab the closest fire extinguisher, ensuring it's the correct type and class appropriate to extinguish the fire, and always make sure to keep your back to an unobstructed exit. If you do not think that you can put out the fire safely, make sure to evacuate the building. Step 2. Once you have your fire extinguisher, stand 6 to 8 feet away from the fire. Step 3. Follow the PASS 4-step procedure. First is P for pull. Pulling the pin unlocks the operating lever and allows you to discharge the extinguisher. Next is A for aim. Make sure to aim the extinguisher nozzle or hose at the base of the fire. The first S is squeeze. Squeeze the lever. This discharges the extinguishing agent. Releasing the lever will stop the discharge. The second S is for sweep. While discharging the extinguisher, start moving towards the fire. Keep the extinguisher aimed at the base of the fire and sweep back and forth until the flames appear to be out. Once the fire has been extinguished, make sure to watch the fire area. If the fire reignites, repeat the process. Always remember that smoke generated from the fire can be harmful and even fatal. Never attempt to extinguish a fire unless it is safe to do so. Now to recap the PASS 4-step procedure. P is for pull the pin. A is for aim the nozzle. The first S is for squeeze the lever. And the second S is for sweep. At Grand River Occupational Health and Safety, we bring safety to life.
So let's summarize what we've gone over today. Takeaway number 1. Don't panic. More injuries have been caused by panicking than by the fire itself. Takeaway number 2. If it's safe to do so, you can attempt to smother the fire with a lid, baking soda, or salt. Do not use water or anything that is wet, such as a wet towel. If it is not safe to do so, make sure you call the fire department. The fire suppression system can activate manually or automatically if the fire gets too hot. Takeaway number 4, different fire extinguishers are designed for different types of fires. Know what kind you have and where it is located. Takeaway number 5, when using the fire extinguisher, remember the PASS method. Pull, aim, squeeze, sweep. And takeaway number 6, call 911 and allow the fire department to either put out the fire or assess the damage. You never know if the fire is in the walls or the ceiling until it's too late.